He will flip-flop on any issue. He can be bought and sold. The dude's a Logan Paul is a bitch, and I will say that here publicly. I'll fight him for free.
Are there bad there?
I don't know. I don't know if there are. I don't know if you'll be able to find them or if they'll talk to you. The point is, Aiden said
you know who the I am?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
You're telling me a girl's your bought over me.
Is that SpongeBob on your t-shirt?
Maybe you have all the fucking time in the world to sit on the internet, my friend. But when I make a statement, I don't have time to say, in my personal experience, I don't believe women can drive. However, I understand that some women can drive, and I'm not saying all women can't drive, and I know women who can drive, but in my personal experience, the bad driving I've seen was most likely committed by women that I don't talk like a geek. I say women can't drive. Now, if that upsets geeks like you, cool, whatever. Because geeks, I don't give a I've asked you a question, and I've allowed you into my house.
I'm asking you a question.
Correct, but you're not the boss here, because I've allowed you into my house.
I'm asking you the questions.
Correctly, and I'm telling you.
You get to decide the answers.
No, we're equal here. I've allowed you into my house. You don't come here with a position of authority. I'm doing you the favor as legacy media, giving you relevance by speaking to you, and I'm telling you now, this Sophie, which the BBC has invented, which there's no face of, nobody knows who she is.
The BBC did not invent
Of course not, and because you never invent anything. And she's not filed criminal charges against me. What are we talking about here?
Who quits the gym to take drugs professionally? You are as stupid as people come. Do you understand, Pudgy? There's no resistance in you.
You're not going to
sitting around with your contract to talk all day in your penthouse.
Now you've laid it out and it offended you. I understand.
I didn't say it offended.
Okay, cool.
I just read you the things.
You read things that you said they could be offensive, and some people are offended.
Well, some people definitely were offended.
Absolutely. That's fine.
And honestly, I think some of the things you said were genuinely offensive and misogynist.
Okay, so they offended you.
And
like I said earlier. So they offended you, which is fine. I said they offended you, you interrupted me, and now you're saying they offended you, which is fine. And
Welcome to 1 hour of Andrew Tate roasting, embarrassing, and destroying people. There's a lot of clips in here, a lot of them that I loved, and we're going to start it off with him destroying none other than Logan Paul.
First things first, I want to make it very, very clear that Logan Paul is absolutely and utterly a tool of the Matrix. He's a bought and sold individual with no soul. He doesn't stand up for anything, and he doesn't mean anything he says. He gets pieces of paper from Susan or whoever else telling him what he's allowed to say on his channel to retain it.
You believe that?
100%. Not only do I believe it, he's proved it himself. He will flip-flop on any issue. He can be bought and sold. The dude's a bitch. Logan Paul is a bitch, and I will say that here publicly. If anyone wants, I'll fight him for free. The guy's an idiot.
No money needed to fight Logan Paul.
Logan Paul doesn't believe in any of the things he says. Logan Paul is a man. If you ever were unfortunate enough to consume his content, I get sent clips of it all the time by people mocking him. As soon as something comes out, whether it's Harry Styles wearing a dress, whether it's Lil Nas twerking on the devil, whether it's this, he just sits there and goes, yeah, this is great. Yeah, this is great. He is a talking piece. He is the mouthpiece for the agenda. The people have come along, people who are trying to force a narrative, and they said, look, we need to have some degree of control over the exact demographic that Tate has control over. We're going to use Logan Paul and attempt to use him. And he sits there and just purports the bullshit points of view that the whole Hollywood establishment want him to purport. He doesn't believe in the things he said. He's told what to say. And because he was canceled before and it emotionally destroyed him, he sat on camera crying his eyes out like a little girl instead of being a man about it. He is so fearful of the mob and so scared of being canceled again that he's going to sit there and say anything he's told. He doesn't believe that shit. Before I was canceled, him and his boyfriend Mike did endless videos supporting me, laughing about me, saying how funny I was, tagging me on Instagram, inviting me places, etc. The second I'm canceled, they flip reverse it and shit themselves because they don't want to get canceled too. They are children. That's all they are. So Logan Paul's a bitch. We told all the news to say Tate's bad, and all of his fans are 18 to 25-year-old men. Who do we have on YouTube who obeys us like a little cuck who speaks to 18 to 25-year-old men? Logan Paul. Okay, Logan, here's your piece of paper. Do you want to get canceled again, Logan? No, you don't want to get canceled, do you? No, Mom.
You're saying a call like that was made?
100%. The dude's a bitch. He 180'd from a super fan to talking about my rhetoric being dangerous in 24 hours.
There's a difference between you saying who you think he is versus you making the speculation that he got called by somebody to say, here's a narrative we want you to take, or else we'll silence you.
Well, Logan is not capable of independent thought. So if someone didn't give him the narrative, he didn't think it up himself. The dude's an empty vessel. He says what he is told to say. Somebody, somewhere, told Logan what to say and what stance to take. We can argue whether it was a social media company, whether it was his manager who was fearful, whether whatever. But somebody sat with Logan and said, look, Tate's getting a lot of smoke. You were cool with him. Your boyfriend Mike was cool with him. He's getting a lot of smoke right now. You're going to bitch out. And he sat there and said, yes, sir. Yes, I will. Because he has no character or no integrity. If it was all the other way around, let's imagine he was getting canceled. And I truly believed it was unfair. I'd sit there on my own platform and say, this is bullshit because I'm not bought, sold, and owned. He's an owned individual. So he's always going to say what he is told to say. He's always going to sit on podcasts, speaking to the youth, promoting Harry Styles wearing a dress, saying that it's great that Lil Nas twerks on the devil in real time for our children to digest, and then say, I'm dangerous to the youth, because that's what he's been told to say. Logan Paul has absolutely no capability for independent thought. And he has no character as a man.
The biggest problem with Logan versus me is that I'm a completely clean athlete and he's on a shitload of steroids. So for him to fight me, either I have to go on a shitload of steroids and become a super heavyweight because I'm genetically gifted, or he has to pass a drugs test. So if he wants to fight for real and he'll keep pissing in a cup and he'll lay off the steroids, then you're sure I'll smash him up.
What rule set would you prefer?
It doesn't really matter to me. I mean, obviously, if we were to fight kickboxing or K1, I'd completely destroy him. Mm-hmm. Boxing is good for the fans. I think boxing translates very well to the fans because even MMA, although I think UFC shows are more entertaining, you still need a degree of knowledge to respect jiu-jitsu, whereas every idiot understands a punch in the face, right? So boxing translates very well for the fans. So I'm happy to box the guy. I mean, he's a big guy. He's a strong guy. Like I said, he's on a bunch of juice. If he lays off the juice and he wants to fight clean, then sure, I'll beat his ass. I mean, it's no problem. I'm not past it yet.
What about a street fight? What would happen?
Well, that's a good point because, you know, it's interesting. Street fights are completely different than anything that happens inside of any kind of rule set. Yeah. I think a lot of people have this misunderstanding where they think, oh, yeah, you're a pro fighter, so on the street. I'm like, yeah, okay, the street's great. And obviously you have an advantage on the street. But I've also seen, and I won't say names, I've seen world champion fighters get sparked on the street. You get sucker punched, you get sucker punched. Yeah. I've seen dudes get jumped. I've seen guys whose names I can say, which I won't, and everyone would know them, get knocked out clean, cold, ice on the street just because they were in a club and they were arguing with some guy and bang, sucker. Fuck. It's messy. And especially I'm telling you guys now, especially in Europe and England, and they don't give, in England, they don't care. It's different. So violence is very different than fighting. So I like to think that I would never have a fair street fight. Let's put it that way. Because you have to win, right? Because it's life or death at that point.
Yeah.
I'm not Logan Paul. I don't do pump and dump crypto scams. I'm not Jake Paul with his lying NFTs. I'm not these clowns. I'm a person of integrity who doesn't need money. I will not let a single person who believes in me lose money because of my words. I refuse to sit here and sell you guys to gamble. I refuse to sit here and sell you trash energy drinks. I refuse to sit and sell you bad food. I refuse to sit and sell crypto pump and dumps. I refuse to sell any bull. I will not sell my soul. That's it. If you believe in Tate, your life is going to get better. Every single one of my fans is going to have a better life for listening to me. Their mind's going to be stronger. Their wallet's going to be stronger. Their body's going to be stronger. I want people to walk down the street and look at a guy who's clearly winning in life, getting out of a Lamborghini with a bunch of muscles and a hot bitch and go, that is an Andrew Tate fan. Yeah. I don't want anything negative attached to my name. I will not sell my soul for money. Why didn't you write to me when I was in jail? And why did you out when the enemies of me and progress, agents of the Matrix, attacked you? I woke up every day waiting for your letter. You know that, inside my jail cell.
No, you did.
I woke up every day thinking Aiden's going to write to me. There's no way he's going to leave me here by myself with the cockroaches, not in solitary confinement. He's my friend.
Sorry. Yo, Andrew, but I asked Luke. I said, Luke.
And the letter never came.
I asked
Luke. Came. Ever. 3 months I was in that room. I didn't go out. I didn't have yard time, nothing. 3 months in a room. I encourage you to go to your bathroom without your phone and sit in your bathroom for an hour. Without your phone, without a laptop, just sit in your bathroom for an hour. Try 3 months. Waiting for your letter that never came.
Damn. I actually feel really bad, bro. Oh, God,
I do. I mean, my feelings. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Let me get this timeline right. I go to jail. You shave your head.
Yes.
And then you don't write to me, but you are defending me.
Yes.
But then you stop going gym.
Stop going gym because I got addicted to liquid heroin. Known as promethazine codeine, which is lean.
You cannot give up something constructive to do something stupid.
Gotcha.
Giving up the gym to begin taking liquid heroin.
Okay, when you
probably the most fucking stupid decision I have ever heard of anybody taking in their life. In fact, I'm going to state this now as a matter of fact in history for the internet. I think you hold the record for making the most stupid life choice I have, me personally, Top G, ever been witness to hearing. Ever.
Wait.
Nobody on earth. Nobody has told me a more stupid decision. I decided to stop going to the gym so I could focus on consuming liquid heroin. You are an idiot, Aiden.
I needed to hear that.
Explain to me. It's Monday morning.
Okay.
You're going to the gym, right?
Yes.
What happens on Tuesday when you change career path? Explain to me. What happens? I need to understand this now. You're going to the gym, you're getting in shape, you're looking better, and then you decide to become a drug addict. Please explain. I want to make sure this doesn't happen to me. So I need to understand how this terrible circumstance can befall a completely logical, intelligent adult human. You are a fucking dumbass. You are as stupid as people come. Who quits the gym to take drugs professionally? You are as stupid as people come. What do you do to make you proud of yourself? And what do you do to make others proud of you? Tell me something in the last 48 hours you've done that's worthy of pride. You've slept, jerked off, talked shit on the internet, text some stupid hoes in Miami or wherever you are. Have you done anything else with your life?
No. Talk to you.
If you didn't take drugs and you worked your ass off in the gym, of course I'll always be able to destroy you for the rest of your life because there's echelons in life and I'm a predator and you're not. That's fine. But I'd still respect you. If you tried your very best to become the best version of yourself you could, I'd still respect you. I'm a lion. I'm a lion. You're a rabbit. But if you became the strongest rabbit you could possibly be, I'd still respect you. I'd be like, oh, that's a rabbit. Yeah, but at least he's trying. Of course, I'll always fucking rip you apart, but that's not what it's about. It's about the fact that you're doing the absolute best you can with the very feeble body God gave you.
If I went 365 in a boxing gym, best shape of my life, learn how to fight like I'm Floyd Mayweather or, Israel Adesanya, I'm knocking you the fuck out, bro. Do you understand? I know you did kickboxing. I know you did. But to say that hard work doesn't beat talent when talent fails to work hard, come on, bro.
Work hard?
I'm not saying that. But if I'm working...
What are you even talking about when you just said makes no sense? What you just said makes no sense. It's a logic fail.
Andrew,
you would work hard, and I would work hard, and I would destroy you.
If I'm working harder than you, boxing and getting in the gym and really learning
how... Now we're going to talk about the fantasy of Aiden Ross working harder than me. Is this in between your drug episodes? It's on your time off? Shut up. No. It's small things, even grip strength. I could crush your neck. I could just get hold of any part of your body and just squash it. Do you understand, Pudgy? There's no resistance in you.
You're not going to play. All right,
whatever I get hold of, I would just fucking decimate with pure grip strength. My knuckle is bigger than your fucking brain.
All right,
I would smash you to fuck.
No. Listen to me. Hey, bald prisoner who dropped the fucking soap. Listen to me. I'm not Pudgy. I'm not Pudgy anymore. I'm not Pudgy anymore. I'm not. Okay.
You know why I laughed when you said bald prisoner? Because I think many levels deeper than you at a speed which you can't possibly fathom.
Oh, I laughed at that. You like the joke.
When you said bald prisoner and I laughed, you thought I laughed at the fact you called me a bald prisoner. No, because I think much deeper than you.
Well,
I laughed at the fact that you, while debating with me about the fact that I couldn't destroy you, decided to call me a bald prisoner. Calling someone a bald prisoner is basically saying you're going to beat the fuck out of me. Do you want to fight a bald prisoner?
No, I didn't say that.
Why did you call me one? You just admitted you're going to lose. That's why I laughed. I laughed because I thought 3 levels deeper than you, even though you said the words. You're too stupid to even fucking fully comprehend the sentence you're coming out your mouth.
No.
When I heard you call me a bald prisoner, I thought, yes, I'm going to fucking kill this guy. You don't stand a chance, Aiden, and I can't wait for it to happen.
I don't fight fair. Let me tell you what I do. If I'm in a street fight, no, you're laughing.
When have you ever been in a street fight? Don't even fucking lie to the chat. When have you ever been sitting around with your bullshit contract to talk shit all day in your fucking penthouse? Since when have you been in a street fight? When have you ever you didn't even grow up like I grew up. You never had a fight in your life. What are you even talking about? Street fight. You are talking the biggest crock of shit you perhaps ever spoken. You've never had a street fight. Who the fuck are you talking to?
Well, I've seen a lot.
No, what street fight? Tell us the story of your street fight. Tell me the guy you knocked out. Where was it? What happened, bro? Tell me, bro. Come on, bro. So Aiden is walking down the street. Aiden Ross is walking down the street. There's girls with him, both sides. Someone comes up and says to his girls, "You're ugly." He says, hey, bro, I may look like a pudgy loser. I may be high on heroin that I've been drinking, but you don't want to mess with me. This huge dude, this big bald prisoner. You don't want to mess with me. And the girl says, Aiden, don't do it. He underestimates you. Am I right so far?
Yeah.
Then he tried to hit you and you like slipped it because you're so fast, like a cat. Then you knocked him clean out, didn't you? Southside Chicago. Yeah?
Yes.
You're an idiot.
Excuse me? I'm not an idiot. Okay.
Tell me your street fight story. Go on.
Hey, I've never been in a fight before, obviously, in my life.
You just said if I'm in a street fight. Tell me what happens. You just told me what happens in street fights. Tell me about your street fights. I want to know now. I thought I knew all about violence.
No. I didn't know
all about violence.
No, listen.
Everywhere.
I can explain.
Professional fights.
No, listen.
A whole bunch of shit. I thought I knew about violence. Please educate me, Aiden.
Let him talk.
So I'm half black, half white, right? That's my ethnicity.
Wait,
so we understand my ethnicity.
I
made a joke an hour ago with one of my cousins, because half my family's black, half my cousin's white. And he said he wanted to go free diving. It's where you dive down in the water and you go deep with no scuba equipment with the sharks or some shit. And I said, bro, that's what white people do that shit. I'm too brown for that. I'm not going with the sharks. I just made a joke. There. Oh no. Cancel me. Who gives a fuck? When I make a statement, bro, listen, when I make a statement, maybe you do, maybe you have all the fucking time in the world to sit on the internet, my friend. But when I make a statement, I don't have time to say, in my personal experience, I don't believe women can drive. However, I understand that some women can drive, and I'm not saying all women can't drive, and I know women who can drive, but in my personal experience, the bad driving I've seen was most likely committed by women. That I don't talk like a fucking geek. I say women can't drive. Now, if that upsets geeks like you, cool, whatever. Because geeks, I don't give a fuck. That's what I say. If it upsets people, tough. That's my personal experience. You're gonna have to get the fuck over it. Doing to society. I spoke about it on Aiden Ross on his podcast, and I spoke about how the internet as a whole has changed the world. I'm old enough to see it. And one of the ways it's changed the world is when there are certain beliefs, there are certain paradigms which are not allowed to be punctured, certain parameters which are set by the matrix in which you must pretend certain things are true. People ignore their own eyes and their own ears because they are afraid of upsetting the matrix. And my point is that a person like you, and I mean this with respect, I'm not here to argue with you, this is a professional debate. A person like you whose entire income, personality, his importance, his ego, everything relies on a Twitch account. If you lose it, you ain't shit. If you lose it, you ain't shit. And the problem is that you could be in 10 car crashes driven by 10 different women, and you will still not come here and say women can't drive as well as men because you are afraid. You are not non-biased. You are sitting here inside of parameters that you must conform to or you don't exist. I don't give a fuck. That's the difference between you and me. That's why I say things other people don't.
I don't know what it means. The last part. I mean, you talk about the matrix and the systems or whatever the fuck, but the only reason why you're relevant or cool in the real world is because you have money. Talk about the matrix, the fucking currency, and you think you're the top G because of that, and it makes you more important than other people who have value to society.
I'm not only the top G because I have money. In fact, I think I talked about this with Aiden Ross as well. I talked about how money is an amplifier. Money alone will not make you significant or important. I talked about how money will amplify. I was the before I was rich. I was the man before I was rich, and then I got rich on top. That's what it's amplified me. That's all it's done. It hasn't changed who I am. There's plenty of people with lots of money who ain't shit.
Okay, so because of the vehicle of my message is Twitch, it's devalidated.
It's not that it's devalidated at all, my friend. I think that Twitch is a fantastic. And you're meeting lots and lots of people, and I'm here on Twitch as well myself. My point is that you exist inside of parameters. The people who rely on the system will always fight to defend the system. The parameters are set in a way in which you cannot be completely and utterly honest, even if your personal experience tells you so. We don't even have to talk about driving. We can talk about anything. We can talk about the last 3 years where you walked around and didn't see a single sick person, and you had to pretend that you were supposed to be scared inside of your house because the parameters have told you if you say anything else, you lose your entire life. And your life is online. This is the reality. Not most people are not allowed to say what they think.
Okay, this works both ways, though. It's not because you have harsher takes and crazier takes that this doesn't apply to you. I feel like you preach to the choir to fucking incels. Literally, that's like your bread and butter.
Wait, isn't that TOS?
So by extent, you try not to go against these opinions because you're going to lose these people. Like it's just how it is.
So that's an interesting point of view, and we'll go into it in a second. But first things first, I want to clarify because, as I said, I'm a professional, and this is a professional debate. My takes are not harsh or extreme. Every single man, every single sports club, every single football team, every single group of men sitting around having a drink will make a joke about how women can't drive. Every single fucking one. So to sit here and pretend I have some extreme view is bullshit. It may be extreme on the internet where people are afraid.
I broke internet just like that.
Oh my God, this is getting really good too.
There's a guy called Adam22. Once again, I have no idea who this man is. I just saw on Twitter yesterday that he was with a porn star who'd never done a male scene. They got married, and like a week after their marriage, she did her first male scene with some random dude. And he's on a podcast defending it.
Did his wife have sex with somebody else?
Correct. Why? Like, this is the level you can, but this is what the Matrix wants from you as a man. They want the woman in charge and the man below with no backbone, because if the woman's in charge, they can emotionally affect her. They can scare her. You can scare a woman easier than you can scare a man. A man. A real man's hard to scare. A woman you can make afraid of the vaccine, right? Be afraid. COVID. Be scared. If she's in charge of the household, I would argue in nearly any household where the female was dominant, everyone's vaccinated. I would argue that point hard.
Of course.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I would argue it. I don't have the statistics. It's just logic to me.
Release some greenhouse gases. I'm obviously a stranger to online controversy. It's not something I often do. But now, the mainstream press is commenting on the fact that I was informing Greta that my very extensive car collection with internal combustion engines, which run on dead dinosaurs, have an enormous emission profile. And she replied by telling me her own email address. Greta's email address is, I have small dick energy. Why would that be your own email address, Greta? Strange. I mean, obviously I don't want to assume her gender. It's 50-50, but it is what it is. I'm not actually mad at Greta. Please bring me pizza and make sure that these boxes are not recycled. Thank you. So I'm not actually mad at Greta, right? Because she doesn't realize she's been programmed. She doesn't realize she's a slave of the Matrix. She thinks she's doing good. Someone has sat her down and convinced her to try and convince you to beg your government to tax you into poverty to stop the sun from being hot. And then, because I called her out on it, the global Matrix got this bot farm to like and retweet and all this bot commenting to try and pretend that her telling me that she has a small dick in her own email address somehow teaches me a lesson. Welcome to a new episode of The Clown Show. But now I know, at least, that Greta, with a little hate-filled face, bitter, sitting somewhere without the heating on, in the cold, a little hat, shivering, use my tweets, which is going to make my Twitter account far more fun into eternity.
I do not think that the problems with the public perception of Meghan have anything to do with her skin color whatsoever, especially the fact that she isn't even particularly dark. I find it very strange that a lot of the people who are standing up for her, I've seen many liberals, black liberals from all around the world who are standing up for her saying the race card, the race card. Why would you allow somebody to use the race card when they're not genuinely suffering from it? Doesn't that disrespect all the people who actually suffer from genuine racism?
Well, I think it does.
So do I.
Because there are so many contradictions in that Netflix series, because Meghan actually says the only time she ever experienced racism was someone in LA calling her mum, who actually does have much darker skin than her, the N-word. But actually, Meghan said she had experienced no racism herself, yet she enters the royal family, and all of a sudden it helps her victim narrative to suggest that she's been a victim of racism. And actually, if you saw her wedding, I mean, the British public completely embraced her.
Well, if the British public had a problem with race, I don't understand how we have a prime minister who's darker skinned than her, a mayor of London who's darker skinned than her. It doesn't even make sense on any level. I would state that England is one of the least racist nations on the planet. And this is one of the things that's kind of detrimental. The people who are obsessed with race and obsessed with racism, constantly calling it out, they in many ways speak it into existence, because most of us, like you said, like yourself, like myself, we don't see color. We treat people with respect, and if somebody's a likable person, they're a likable person, and if they're a dislikable person, they're a dislikable person, and their color has very little to do with it. It's just kind